What's up, weirdos? Since the last episode, I've stumbled onto too many amazing game demos, so now I'm crawling out of college finals hell to smack you upside the head with them. For this list, I've compiled 5 of the weirdest, spookiest, and most creative upcoming indie games you may not have heard of that you can try for yourself right now. Welcome to another episode of Demo Dive. First off, we have the breathtakingly stylish demo of No Players Online, a game about exploring an old abandoned PC with the ability to rip souls out of video games and mash them together. If this title sounds familiar, it's not just your single brain cell tricking you again. Fans of indie horror might remember the original No Players Online that was released back in 2019. Those same fans will be delighted to know that this is a complete rebuild of that game from the ground up into a full, much larger experience. The interactivity and immersiveness of the computer within the game is extremely impressive, and a clever mechanic for crafting the game's puzzles. On the other end, the visual storytelling and haunting atmosphere of these lonely and corrupted games throws cohesion and structure out the window in all the best ways as the mystery within this computer unfolds. No Players Online is a slow burn done right that trades in traditional jump scares for a constant feeling of uneasiness that pays off with every unexpected sight and sound. If you're a fan of glitchy aesthetics, retro visuals, the strange dread you feel from falling out of the map in video games, or downloading strange files from the internet, go try it out for yourself. Next on our list is a race through a post-apocalyptic clownscape with Clown Meat. Born from the flesh of the jovial clown, your goal is to speedrun through the aftermath of this cosmic entity's corruption to cheer them up enough for their return to the depths of Jupiter. From its gameplay to its visuals to its very premise, Clown Meat is an absolutely unhinged experience that I couldn't put down. The speed-based gameplay is fluid, fast, and fun as hell. The world is completely drenched in a unique brand of weirdness, and there's a surprising emotional depth to the experience that connected me with this little clown, even in just a little taste of what the full game has to offer. I immediately fell in love with the entire idea of this game, and while some of the gameplay mechanics were a little difficult to get used to at first, the ease of replayability and lightning-fast level design meant that even restarting a level over and over to get it perfect didn't feel frustrating or wasteful of my time. If you're a fan of precision platformers like Super Meat Boy or Celeste, love body horror, have always dreamed of a dedicated nose honk button, or are just a plain old weirdo, Clown Meat is calling your name. Replacing the vibrant colors of the first 2 entries with a cast of vibrantly colorful characters, we're stepping into the monochrome and surreal world of Pillory. Trapped at the bottom of a forgotten afterlife with your body still intact, meet a diverse cast of friends and emotionally torment your unkillable foes while searching for a way up. Pillory's fantastically rendered art style perfectly encapsulates the melancholic setting and themes, with just the right amount of abstraction to be both readable and visually distinct while making character animations pop. Despite its bleak and emotional atmosphere, however, Pillory balances itself out with a fun and expressive cast of characters, all hail jury, and comedic writing that always knows the appropriate tone for the situation, which kept me fully invested in this train wreck of an afterlife and the story being told within. This focus on emotion also bleeds into the gameplay itself, creating a very unique turn-based combat system that requires exploiting enemy weaknesses while balancing your own mood with each risk-reward decision you make. Also, thanks to a really interesting and thematic mechanic that allows you to level up when you're defeated, Pillory manages to avoid a lot of the unnecessary stress from health and item management that can come with these kinds of games. If you're a fan of RPGs like Undertale and Omori, have a love for abstract creature designs, suffer from existential dread on a daily basis, or just really love it when games make you feel things, then dive right into Pillory today. We're taking a trip back in time to classic survival horror with Crow Country. Solve puzzles and survive against the twisted horrors of this abandoned amusement park as you unravel the mystery behind the shady owner's disappearance and the origin of the deadly creatures blocking your path. This title, as you can see, takes heavy inspiration from the lower fidelity of classic survival horror games, but builds its own original style from those fundamentals that stands out on its own. These visuals are not just for show either, as the environment, the emptiness, and especially the monsters feel so vague and eerie, almost like a dream when viewed through this obscured lens. Additionally, the monster designs in general are quite interesting, somehow coming in all kinds of shapes and sizes that have left me constantly questioning the mystery behind their existence, as well as what the hell I'll encounter next. While Crow Country delves so excellently into its eerie retro style, this survival horror title's modern control scheme is a major step up from the usual tank controls, although those are still an option as well for those who prefer it. This fluid movement, combined with an aiming system similar to that of Resident Evil 4 and an emphasis on dealing close-up damage, turns combat into a finely tuned dance of positioning and forces you to confront the danger head-on. All of the other essential elements of survival horror are in here as well, and all of it fits so well together to form a combined and cohesive package. If you're a fan of classic survival horror, immersive puzzle solving, abandoned amusement parks, or crow-themed entertainment, pick up your free ticket to Crow Country today. Also, before we move on to our final title, I wanted to announce that I'm working on a video for the full version of Crow Country right now, which will be published when the game releases on May 9th. Look forward to it.
Jesus, is she dead?
It looks like she's been dead for a while.
Holy shit! Wait, then whose scream did we hear?
Someone's keeping secrets from us.
Ending our video in a similar fashion to how we began, Among Ashes is another horror game that takes place within a virtual computer. However, that's where the similarities to the first title end, as this one instead revolves around a haunted retro game that not only torments you within the computer, but in the world outside of it as well. Among Ashes has two completely different visual styles to accompany its two different types of gameplay. Inside the computer, you're tasked with playing and solving the mystery of a strange and corrupted survival horror game. This game then starts affecting the world outside of the computer as you venture deeper into its story, letting you actually get up and wander through the protagonist's apartment as things go awry. This shared duality between the game and the outside world isn't explored in a lot of depth in the demo, but what is there is definitely promising for what's to come. Probably the most important part of this premise, which the game has nailed in this demo, is that the horror game within the game is actually well made and fun to play. I was often so involved within this game that I completely forgot about the world outside of it until flickering lights or strange sounds shocked me back into the overall premise. This game treats its survival horror side as a full-fledged game in its own right, and I'm very excited to see how its two sides interact with each other as the full story unfolds. If you're a fan of classic Resident Evil but from a first-person perspective, the idea of haunted video games, feeling paranoid in two different layers of reality at the same time, or low-poly body horror, let Among Ashes haunt your computer today. Thank you for watching today's episode of Demo Dive. Remember that all of these demos are available to download right now, so go try them out. If you like what you see, remember to wishlist the games to be notified when they release. It also helps out indie developers a lot more than you'd think. If you're still here, you're now legally obligated to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on all of the latest and greatest in weird and spooky indies. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.